Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm the Timmeister, and welcome back to Dunswell. Looks like we have a little bit of a mess on our hands today in Brightwood. This is literally the biggest forest fire I've ever seen in my City Skylines career. Just look at this bad boy. It's like the size of a whole city block. It's crazy. And this is totally naturally occurring, guys. I did not spawn this in with the Disasters DLC. This just kind of popped out of nowhere, and when I noticed it, it had pretty much engulfed all of this. This is crazy. So I think this is probably a good sign that we have to invest in some good forest fire prevention infrastructure. So if we take a look at the fire services menu here, you can see that overall, the city is not bad. Most of the city is blue. Maybe we have a couple of red splotches here that we can address. But the real problem is this giant ring of flammable forest that surrounds the city. We have pretty much no protection against any forest fires. And as you may know, the city is no stranger to forest fires, because if you look closely in any Dunswell episode, you may notice that there's a fire billowing somewhere on the map at any given time. So I think it's probably time that we fix that. So again, looking at my fire prevention services menu, we have ample fire stations across the city. But the only forest fire prevention building that I spotted was this one over here on Industrial Island. All of its helicopters are in use. I'm sure it's a busy day over here at the fire hall. But this is pretty much all we got. And it is nowhere near enough to service the entire map. So I'm going to go ahead and start by placing down a large capacity or a high capacity fire helicopter depot. And of course, it's going to be a lot more expensive to plop down and maintain, but we have a 10 capacity rather than a 3 capacity. So let's hit play here, and I'm going to plop it over here by the airport. Naturally, I think this is the best place to put this down. So I'm going to plop that right there, and let's take a look at these helicopters taking off. So I think there should be like 3 or 4 that should be spawning at any given time. And away they go, off to work. So let's follow one of these. See where they go. And I really love these helicopters because they actually fly to a body of water. And you'll see here that our water bucket is 0% full. And it's... oh, okay, I guess we're going in this river. So all of these helicopters are just going to splash down into this river and collect some water. So, bloop, there we go, 100%. And this one is going to head off to the fire near the pharmacy. Oh, and here's a couple of helicopters right now. And they're actually surprisingly effective. Like, look at that. They're going to douse all the flames, pretty much putting out this entire area here. And then, as you can see, they've emptied their water bucket, so they're just going to repeat that same process and put out the rest of this fire. Although it looks like it's kind of putting itself out. Maybe over here, still spreading quite a bit. But luckily, we didn't lose any buildings. Except maybe this plaza. You know, it's looking a little scorched. So that is going to take a little bit of time to regrow. But until then, let's take a look a little bit. Let's take a look at our services over here, because I haven't really checked into any of this in quite a while. Let's start off with the electricity availability that we have for the city. We're still in good shape. Eventually, we may need to upgrade. But with these 2 nuclear power plants over here running at full capacity, I think... oh, what happened there? It just went up. Oh, it just went up again. Okay, I cannot explain that. Maybe it's... well, the temperature's still good. I don't know. I can't explain that. Anyways, electricity availability is still good for a while. water availability, we're gonna have to address this pretty soon, especially sewage treatment. You know, we're kind of moving into the yellow zone here pretty soon. So I think I'm gonna get into that actually. So as far as water goes, maybe I can place down a couple of pumps around town. Where would be the best place to do that? I already have a bunch of pumps over here. Oh, is this one off? It's not off. Maybe it's just not getting enough water because all of these pumps are sucking in all the water. I don't know. Here, I'm gonna try to place it down again. Oop. All right, there we go. That's probably barely gonna make a dent. I think I'm gonna have to place down a lot more than that. Let's place some large water towers. So we have the regular water tower, 60,000 cubic meters a week, versus the large water tower, which can do, oh my god, more than double than that. So let's do that. Let's place a couple of large water towers. Brightwood would be a good spot to place one of these. Typically, water towers are on high ground due to it increases their efficiency, because the whole point of a water tower is to provide pressure into the city, into the water lines. So I think I'm gonna maybe place this one right over here. And I suppose this is reasonably high ground. I could have placed it higher over here, but the city hasn't expanded that far yet. So I think right here is okay. We're still on top of a hill. So let's check what that has done. That's increased our water availability by a little bit. Maybe I'll place one more over here in South Dunswell. You have to be very careful where you place these water towers. You don't want to place them anywhere near ground pollution, because that would be detrimental. We're kind of on low ground though over here. Over here would probably be a decent spot. Over here in Poho. What about right here on this hill? Bloop. So that's going to increase our availability a little bit more. Doot. One more. Let's do one more. Over here near downtown, near Tidmore Park. How about that? Will it ruin the scenery? Maybe a little bit. But it's pretty essential to have these water towers, so let's go ahead and place this right here. Doesn't look half bad. It's not even as tall as the trees, so that's pretty good. So our water availability is doing good. I don't necessarily want to max it out because it's going to go down again anyway. But water sewage or sewage treatment should be addressed because it's getting pretty low. Let's see here. There's a bunch of treatment plants that I can place down, which are rather large. And we are running out of room. I think I may... Yeah, over here would probably be a decent spot for this. I don't have any plans for this area over here. Right here would look pretty cool. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to make a mini water treatment plant over in this corner of the map. So I'm going to make this out of dirt roads, as in my area at least, all the roads near my water treatment plant are dirt. So maybe if I just do this, and then let's start with a Eco Advanced Inland Water Treatment Plant. Bloop, right there. How much has that affected? Oh, I gotta connect this up to the rest of the system. And oh, of course I'm gonna have to provide power to this treatment plant. What should I do for power? Now this area is certainly not ideal for any kind of wind power, which is usually my go-to for just like placing random power plants around. Maybe a geothermal plant. Produces 80 megawatts. Yeah, that should be enough. I don't think these treatment plants require a ton of power. Here, let's go for it. That should do. How much power do they need before I go all the way in with this? Electricity, 1280 kilowatts. I think there's... Now how many kilowatts are in a megawatt? I don't know. 1,000? No, over 10,000? I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna place down a second Eco Advance treatment plant. And then maybe a smaller one here just for a little bit of variation. And then we also have an Advance Inland, which looks very similar but a little bit different. And then we have these smaller ones here. I'd like to maybe place a small one. Here, let's make some room for it over here. Let's have one here, and then... Actually, just to create a bit of variation, I'm gonna remove one of these, and I will place one of these advanced inland water treatment plants. Same size, just looks a little bit different. And it creates a little tiny bit more pollution, but I'm not too concerned about pollution over here in this corner. We're plenty far away from any civilization. All right, let's hit play and let's see what this does for our entire system. Bloop! Brings us almost on par with the water availability. I'm actually really happy with that. Oh, wait a minute. These buildings weren't even on yet. Oh, okay, maybe they were. Okay. Not a problem. And I think this building should be... Oh, what's this? It was supposed to only provide 80 megawatts. Oh, well, 100's even better. Okay, yeah, these smokestacks are not really in the way of the runway, so this looks great. And actually, you know what I may do? I'm going to shorten that road. This road is kind of useless. And why don't, for beautification purposes, why don't I fence in this entire area? Where are the fences again? I thought they were here. Oh, yeah, they're over here. Industrial fence. No, that's airport. Oil industry. Yeah, sure. The oil fence is fine. Oh no, I built it a little too far. Or did I? Hang on. Maybe I can make this work. Nope. I'm gonna use move it to bring this a bit closer. And then I'm gonna use anarchy, bloop, to just clip over this corner. And there we go. And around these buildings, I like to maybe place on a little tiny bit of industry. Just adds a little bit more character. All right, and there we go. Okay, so as far as water goes, we're doing good. if I check all of my other statistics, ooh, education, elementary school availability is not ideal. Ooh, high school is even worse. University is good. Public libraries, yeah, that's not really an issue. Elementary schools, though, we're gonna have to fix that. I have plenty of elementary schools around, though. Coverage is good, but capacity is not. Actually, let me take a look at my budget screen, because maybe I can boost. Yeah, look at that. Oh, no, actually, I think we determined at one point that it's cheaper and better to place down just the maximum number of schools. But I am running out of room, and our coverage is good. So I think in this case, I'm going to boost our education budget. And let's see what kind of effect it's going to have on our capacity. Oh, yeah, that capacity is way good now. It's going to cost us a little bit more than if we place down more schools. But it doesn't really bother me that much, because just look at the amount of schools we have. Like, we already have a ton. Although, actually, there's a couple of gray spots. I mean, I know it doesn't really have anything to do with, like, availability. You know, Sims can go from, like, here, and they could go to this school, maybe. Like, it's... The game is kind of wonky like that. But I'm just going to leave that as is. Actually, I didn't even really bother looking at how much it's costing us, because we were at, what, 65,000 or something, and now it's costing us 10,000 more. But, I mean, we're making a decent chunk of change, so I'm not too worried about that. Healthcare, let's just take a quick look at that. Healthcare and death care are good. Childcare, I'd say that's pretty decent. And 80% average health for seniors. Not too bad. 76 years lifespan. It's a little low, but... I mean, what can we do other than placing down some more elder care buildings, which we already have quite a few. I'm pretty happy with that. Now we have a whole plethora of different metrics that we can check here to make sure our city is in good order. However, most of these I'm fairly confident are okay. Land value is fine. Pollution, we're not doing too bad on that. Everything is kind of concentrated to Industrial Island. Most of these are not really... most of these info view panels are just information about the city. They're, you know, they don't really need to be addressed. It's just kind of like nice to knows. All of the essential ones are up top here that you really have to worry about, except wind. It's not really important. Noise pollution is quite high in the city, although this chart says otherwise. 30% I wouldn't say is too bad. Not much you can really do about that. Maybe like putting some more treed roads and things like that, but I'm not too concerned. Crime is low. I'd say a 4% crime rate is quite low. Tourism, tours. Oh yeah, we have to get into the tours. I've never done that in this game, like, at all. That could probably generate some decent income for the city. I'm gonna get into that maybe next episode. That'd be fun. But other than that, we're okay. A lot of these info views are related to the Disasters DLC, which I haven't touched yet. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. So actually, let's take a look at what the main focus of this episode is. The fire, look at that. It has been completely extinguished. Although the forests have suffered quite a bit. But, you know, the helicopters did their job. Everything is out. So this is going to take a little while to grow back. But it's fine. Of course, there's a fire that starts where, like, I packed in these trees as tight as I could to make these spa resorts a bit more functional. And it had zero effect. So, yeah. That was a bit of a waste. And actually, there is one more thing I have to do before ending this episode, which I almost forgot. I need to place down some watchtowers all around the city to prevent a big fire like this from ever happening again anywhere near the city. So I'm gonna place an array of fire watchtowers all around the city, and create like a big ring around the entire city. And this ring is going to move eventually up these mountains as the city expands, but we'll get there once we get there. I think the biggest, most important thing is to protect the city in its current borders. So I'm just gonna hit play here. I'm gonna plop this tower, and you'll see just how big the range is for these watchtowers. So they're quite effective. So I'm basically just gonna go and place down a series of towers pretty much surrounding the entire city. I think I may even place one in Tidmore Park up here on the mountains, just to protect these little nooks and crannies here, because there are some pretty large forest fires that continually happen here in Tidmore Park. So I think a couple of watchtowers here and there will help prevent those. I'll place 2 of them over here in Garnet Hills. Actually, probably up here on this mountain would be a good spot. Over here as well. Maybe along these mountains too. The range is pretty good on these towers. One over here. And then maybe... Oh, that's outside of the city limits. Oh, I gotta place it like maybe here. Oh, that's kind of close to the runway. Planes are gonna be whizzing by that tower day and night, but that's okay. And maybe for good measure, I'll place one over here on Industrial Island, because we've got some forestry. You know, we want to prevent any fires from happening over there. And then one over here by the zoo. And then one more over here in Holly District. There. So basically what I've done here is just expanded the ring to outside the city limits. So if there is a fire, then we'll be way better prepared. All right, well, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Oh, there is one view that I didn't go over, and that is traffic. Overall, we have a 68% traffic flow. Not great, not terrible, I suppose. Oh, 69. Nice. So we're going to want to address this at one point. All of the city's main arteries are where the big problems are. And I suppose cramming all of our industry into one island is probably not helping a lot of these main roads. But we're going to want to address these problems at some point. Maybe place down some trams, or I don't know. But we're going to want to focus an episode on this. Maybe multiple episodes are going to be focused on fixing traffic in the city. But overall, we're doing quite well. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. It was mostly a, I guess, an administrative episode, you know, just fixing some of the city's lingering problems. But overall, the city is in really great standing. I mean, you know, people are happy, we're making money, things are good. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like, drop a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And until the next episode, guys, please take care.